Okay, Ramblers, let's get rambling.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
It's Some Dumb Guy once again. I've got some dumb buys. Would you like to see? Oh, that's some dumb kitty. Here comes Buddy. Oh, here's Buddy. Come here. Oh, big boy. Buddy just went to the vet today. And we find out Buddy's gaining weight instead of losing weight like we're trying to get him to do. He's a big boy. He's over 16 pounds. When I first took him in, got him neutered, he was 13 pounds. They told me, hey, he's overweight. And when I took him in off the street, he weighed less. Little boy, now big boy, he can eat. And all the food regulating I've been doing apparently hasn't done a damn bit of good. He weighs more now than when I was actually just giving him a bowl of food and said, eat when you want to. Now I feed him twice a day, every 12 hours or so, and cut back on the amount. And he's actually gained more weight. I don't know how he pulls that off. Anyway, that's not why you're here. I got some stuff. Not much, just a little bit. We're going to share today. Now, over here at Some Dumb Channel, we got some dumb collecting rules, unofficially or otherwise. And I broke one of them. I'm not happy about it, but I had to save a little bit of money. Both Amazon and Barnes & Noble, this past week or two or so, whatever it's been, has had a Criterion collection sale. I don't typically participate in those. I'm a firm believer in going straight to Criterion directly because they have the same sales, just not at the same time. I like to say go directly to them, even if it's for a sale. I like to give them the maximum profits I can for the purchases I make, rather than going through a middleman. And scrolling through Amazon just for S&G, came across some titles from Criterion that were on sale. And I was just going to pass them on by as I normally would. The problem is, Amazon had them on sale for a price I have never seen Criterion sell them for directly. And I caved. This one ends up being kind of a double dip because this is a 4K and I bought the Blu-ray from them in the last year or two. I haven't opened, haven't watched it. And the 4K came up for sale, which wasn't available at the time I got the Blu-ray. Yeah, I'm going to not do it. I'm going to stick with what I got. When that price came around, for Criterion 4K, I couldn't resist. So we have from 1954, 96 minutes of black and white, Japanese with English subtitles. We have the original Gojira, or Gojira as it was originally titled, Japan. Said about the Blu-ray, never got around to watching it, let alone opening it, and then they said, hey, guess what? Now we're going to do a 4K. You know, like you bastards, that so often happens. I wasn't going to worry about it, and then bonus price that made it very, very difficult to resist. So I was bad. Next up, we have a Nutter. Basically the same kind of scenario, except for this was a blind buy. I really want to question, because I've never even seen Amazon do this. I'd love to question exactly how it is they are able to sell these Criterion titles as cheap as they do, because you can never get them that cheap through Criterion directly, as I've said. So blind buy, heard really great things on this when this title was released a few months ago. So it is a brand new title from this year. It is a 4K 1973, 102 minutes, black and white. I know nothing about this film at all whatsoever, but people were thrilled when this title got released, and it is Paper Moon. And I'm not used to films in 1973 being released in a black and white format. That is interesting. I was under the impression that this was going to be an older movie than it is. Not that it matters, but just because of it being black and white, it's an interesting spine there. I don't like it when Criterion does this, and they're doing it far too often. These little gatefold slipcover deals instead of just giving me a regular plastic case, which I don't even like Criterion's plastic cases, but they're sure better than these. I don't know why, but Criterion always opts for the thicker cases. They're Blu-ray size. They're not traditional Blu-ray cases. But they're the thicker variety of the size that is typically used in the UK. I don't know why. Extra space taken, not a fan. I'm getting sleepy. That was it for the Criterion. I just bought the two. No justification there, but it is what it is. I did it, but I stopped myself from that. I was like, okay, these two are below typical pricing. I'm not going to buy anything that is standard pricing for a Criterion sale. I will wait for that. And glad that I did, because I still have Kino Lorber's spring into summer sale going. What a nightmare that's turning out to be for me to try to sort through and figure out what I'm going to buy on that. And then, of course, now Amazon's Prime Day sale has just started, and I just dumped a bunch of cash into that. So stay tuned for more stuff. As if I never stop. Okay, so next up, different direction here. This is a 4K blind buy from Shout Select. Hear good things about this one as well. Popped in at a good price, maybe a great price considering it's a Shout 4K release. It is from 1980. Color clearly, and a runtime of some time. They're usually pretty good over at Shout about posting running times for their films. Oh, there it is, 113 minutes. Didn't see it at first, I looked right past it. Anyway, what we have here is Kurt Russell's Used Cars. Who amongst us does not love Kurt Russell? I know of no one. Kurt Russell, Garrett Graham, Frank McRae, Deborah Harmon, and Jack Warden. I've never heard of any of you people. Wow, poor guy. All these co-stars that are nobodies, but 1980. You know, Kurt Russell was just on the cusp of making it big. So this is I actually, for some reason, thought that was a newer movie than 1980. Another blind buy. I think maybe I've seen little bits and pieces of this way back in network TV, random 8 o'clock movie days. Got this one because my sister wants to see it, and I have never seen it all the way through. She loves it, and I'm like, all right, I'll pick it up and we can watch it together. So I went and picked it up. Another Shout/Scream Factory release in a Blu-ray. This one here is not presenting. There it is. Sorry, 1984, 115 minutes. We have Jeff Bridges and Karen Allen in Starman. Yeah, I was aware of this one for a good portion of my life, and it floated around in my consciousness, but I never sought it out. So here it is. This is what, 3 years after Karen Allen was in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Jeff Bridges with this 4 years after Tron, I believe. So yeah, and it's John Carpenter, which you can almost never go wrong with. So yay on that front. Looking forward to checking that out. We're gonna move on to a groovy envelope here. No, we're not. We're gonna move on to a deep discount envelope here. And there's silly little vacuum sealed super grips. We've got a Blu-ray blind buy, but happens to be, I didn't realize this, another Shout Select title. So what we got here so far? 2 Criterions and 3 Shouts so far. That's interesting. Completely coincidental. 1954 color, surprisingly, at a runtime of 116 minutes. Starring James Stewart and June Allison. I know nothing about what this is about. It is a blind buy, as I think I said. It is the Glenn Miller story. Doesn't that look black and white? That sure looks like a black and white imagery for a colored film, but the back shows colored imagery. Very interesting. I don't know if I'm on an unofficial quest to get every James Stewart title I can in my library, but it sure seems that way. Same as I'm doing with many others. We'll see how it works out. This is something I'm really interested in seeing, but it's also something that I was, prior to getting it, concerned about what was going to be on it, because it's a Warner Archive collection, and the year ranges on this were, the information I got was conflicting, and I don't know if they're going to tell me on this because it is a collection, so there's a range on it. There's no specific copyright date individuals. I do see a random assortment from, appears 1943 to 1955. It's a collection of shorts. This is the Tom and Jerry Cinescope collection. So you've got a pretty generic front cover artwork here. And I was, as a kid growing up, a huge Tom and Jerry cartoon fan. But I was aware that there was an era in which things were a little bit off. So you're watching your early Saturday morning Tom and Jerry cartoons, and sometimes you would go from your traditional storytelling and traditional look to something different. Somebody else was drawn, they didn't look right, the stories were never quite right. I didn't know. I don't have a frame of reference to say, okay, hey, what's on this? Am I going to recognize it? Which one is it going to be? But I do specifically remember this one here. Little Three Musketeers kind of get-ups they have on there. Just going through and looking at the still images here, this tells me that these, at least the majority of them, I hope, are going to be what I want them to be. Celebrating 85 years of Tom and Jerry. That's where my eyesight is starting to fail me. 23, looks like 23 shorts, as originally seen in theaters for the first time on Blu-ray. Also included are Hanna-Barbera's 2 standalone Spike and Tyke cartoons. I don't know what that is, but I haven't watched in Tom and Jerry, I don't know, nearly 40 years maybe. I think they'll go well with my expanding Looney Tunes library, so I wanted to get that. Got good pricing on it, so there it is. I'm tired, I'm drained, it's been a hot day, I've been on the road all day after taking Buddy to the vet. I'm calling it. I wanted to get these out of the way because I got my Amazon Prime Day sale stuff coming in. And then shortly thereafter, I'm going to start getting Kino Lorber spring into summer sales. I'm probably going to get at least 2 loads of that. And for all intents and purposes, those will probably be large. So I don't want any buildup. So here we go. We're done. Thank you for joining me. What you think of my recent pickups here? What have you picked up yourself for your own personal libraries? Say hi to Buddy. All in the word box below, per usual. Thank you once again for joining me on this little rambling adventure I call physical media collecting. Good night to all.
Alan.